Hey guys, my name is Mark from Jazz Guitar Lessons. Welcome to this channel, welcome to this video. And in this short video, I want to share a little bit of a personal update, at the same time share how I come up with and film useful videos for this channel. And while I'm here, I just want to thank you guys for watching and also for all you guys subscribers. If you're not subscribed yet, please just hit subscribe and notification bell. We have reached the 68,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and thank you for making my job, my dream job, and making this a reality. So let's get going with the content. So the first bit of topic I want to talk about today is the consistency. So I noticed that in the past while I've been very consistent in filming these videos. It means that I come here and I pick up my guitar and I brainstorm things and I write things down and I use my iReel and I play for you guys, and then I consistently shoot these videos, then they get shipped over for editing. Tipping my hat to video editor. Thank you. And for making the videos amazing, because I can only do so much, right? And then the upload schedule also has been very consistent in the past, probably 5 to 6 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's like 11 or 12 videos that we've uploaded. So the consistency has really contributed to the channel's growth, and meaning my reach, but also at the same time, the effect or the impact of the lesson and the jazz guitar coaching on people in general, which is a part of my goal. So that's my piece about consistency. So about the video creation process, is one thing that I would come up here and I can talk to any people wishing to do teaching or uploading stuff to YouTube, or even like trying to build a jazz guitar vocabulary. I would say the purpose behind the video creation is to create a certain amount of value. Yeah, an overused word, I know. And the value is, well, if the guys watching the video implement what I talk about, how will it change their own perspective? So meaning it has to do a lot for me with a reframe of perspective on looking at it from the person who's going to watch a video. So basically, I think about changing the person's playing proficiency or understanding of the music in a positive fashion, which is quite the opposite of, say, an instructor or a teacher that would be stubborn, say, or I would say, how I used to do it in 2009 would be, what do I want to teach? I want to talk about this thing and just go on camera. So that's been more so the purpose of my recent videos on YouTube in the past, I would say past year or so, past 2 years. And there's just a few examples I have in mind that you can go check on the channel. So the staple voicings is one big one, a replicable process for memorizing the songs, and also an approach to mastering jazz comping, which is a probably 15-20 minute video, an approach to start improvising jazz. So this is all actually really good examples of me attempting to put myself in the shoes of the students. And of course, I use the feedback from the people I work with, so the clients, the students that I work with, and go, what are you struggling with? What's not working? What's whatever? And then I actually put myself in the shoes of, I'm talking to this camera, but I'm talking to Bob, or I'm talking to whomever will find this stuff useful and that will actually implement it. So that's how I create these videos, brainstorm them, and create them. And speaking of which, you might have seen this on the channel. We have a success story with Steve, and also on jazzguitarlessons.net/reviews. There's plenty of success stories that used actually the stuff that I post on YouTube. No big secret. When I work one-on-one with students, I still reuse all of the same methodology, meaning there's no hidden secret anywhere. When people start to, pay for coaching, we use the same stuff, but I use a form of coaching, accountability, and feedback mechanism. So that's how I'm able to come up with these videos. So I wanted to dig deeper a bit on the feedback loop, or the iterative nature of my content production. So that's one thing that is both in a microcosm and a macrocosm, meaning when I'm about to create a video, say 10 years ago, I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this, and I think I had this question from a student with a brilliant idea, and I'll share this. Now what I realize is, the more I listen to you guys' comments, and the more I look at which videos are liked, I have more engagements and whatever, the clearer a picture I have on what to do next and how to specify, clarify, or dig deeper, or even go, what if I made this thing, comping, faster, or what if I made this thing easier? Faster or easier, and then I get to create more videos. Don't get me wrong, like I started 15 years ago doing this. And again, here you have to. So I'm still talking about comping and scales and whatever, and standards, right? It's still the same stuff, but I refined the process. So the feedback has a really big role in it. So if you're watching this and in a way you're like, oh, it's just Marc, if you feel powerless in the face of what I'm producing as far as content, I would say, well, just comment, and I'm listening. Like, I'm always listening. I'm all ears. I'm just like looking at this data. Yeah, I'm a statistician by training, so I just love looking at data. So the process of iteration has a lot to do with this. So I'll give a good example of the feedback influenced the way I post stuff on YouTube. Is in the past, I would say probably 2 years, I started to implement, describe, explain, and post on YouTube and use with my students what I call a 7-stage process. And essentially, it's putting the song in the middle. So one of the things that happened to me and a lot of other instructors is that we will go and talk about scales and arpeggios and chords all day, and then the students are like, yeah, but I had a barbecue with my family last weekend, and Uncle Bob said, oh, you're taking lessons? Just play me a song. Just here's a guitar, play me a tune. And people freeze. and as an instructor, I went, ding, the little like light bubbles, like, yeah, we still got to teach songs, right? It's not like how you're going to play the song, how you will implement. It's like, no, let's use a song and put it in the center. So the 7-stage process is one of the best examples of using an iterative process to teach. And it boils down to self-knowledge, to realizing that this is the way I had done it for myself. Meaning, I'm a kid, I got this cocktail gig on Friday, I'm 22 years old, and I go like, oh shoot, we have these 20 songs to play. What am I going to do? Well, first look at the chords, then play in time, and then look at the melody, and then do this and do that, whatever, which you can find. The whole process has been documented by yours truly, jazzguitarlessons.net/process. And this document took me like 100 hours to put together, okay? And it's exactly the way I work with students, so feel free to use it. So that's just a note on how iteration, feedback mechanism plays into that content production of mine, and how in a microcosm, that's it, but also on a macrocosm, how feedback can influence your guitar playing. Meaning, instant feedback to me is I'm looking down on this pedal, right? That's my looper pedal, all right? And if I play something and I loop it, I get from the amp, I get instant feedback. Also, there would be recording myself on top of it, instant feedback. I put iReal, I shred on the standard, then I listen back, I'm getting instant feedback. So the feedback is, in a way, hearing what we're doing and then readjusting according to what gives. So it's how I learned to speak English, which is I film myself and I listen to Seinfeld and whatever, and I would listen. It's like, oh, you're pronouncing this word wrong, right? So the feedback and the iterative process is in every area of life, which segues into my next topic. So I believe it's still important to balance personal life along with creating content, along with the teaching. So I'm teaching full time, and in a way, it's like I'm doing these videos part time as a means, if you will, to give back to the world. At the same time, it's a promotion mechanism to get more students into the program and thus impact a bigger change. That said, I know that 99.9% of people watching the YouTube videos, using the blog or the podcast or whatever I'm creating will never actually be students, and that's okay, because that's the magic of the internet. It's like all of this stuff is free, and then if you need like say a consultant, like a jazz guitar consultant, like a coach, then this is what is paid for, right? So in my personal life, there's really a biggie, which is parenting. So I'm trying to balance personal life and also in creating content and a relationship here with the iteration and the feedback loop and how I come up with content. It's pretty much like parenting in that I try and see what works. For instance, I could have a process that I'm doing with my son, 3-year-old, and I will find out if it works only through repetition. So I'll give you an example, which is, I think, pretty simple and stupid, which would be, we have a bedtime story. Do we do it before the bath or after the bath? Of course we do it after, right? We go in bed and then read the story and then good night, right? And then, is there any monster under the bed and ghosts and stuff? You know the drill, right? But the thing is, if there's something I want to implement in the parenting or something I want to change, I can iterate on it. I can look at the process and repeat this for at least 30 days and see if I change just one thing, what kind of results I get after this adjusted. So this works wonders for me because it's based mostly on observation, which would be, to me, the polar opposite of knee-jerk reaction, which would be like immediately like grabbing hold and letting some of my personal wounds or personal like natural reaction take over. I'm like, wait, that's what we're doing, that's what we've been doing, we change this thing or not, and maybe now's the time to change the thing. So that also helps. And I'm, of course, I'm trying to strike a balance in doing all these things. So there's areas of my life that have been really, really well set in stone for the past, I would say, 6 months. My personal life has sort of balanced, the teaching is balanced, like everything is like clearer. And I'd just like to tip my hat again to, not affiliated, Tao Physique, great YouTube channel. So I've always worked out, I've always done gym stuff, lift weights or run, whatever, and now it's only in the past little while that this really crystallized in, oh, it's just something I do now, right? Like taking a shower, brushing your teeth, like it's always happening. So there's a value in knowing that the peace of mind that accompanies a steady routine is really something that produces results. So on some days, I really don't feel like working out. Like for instance, today I'm a bit sick, you hear my throat a bit sore, I cough, and I look at my workout and go, here's the thing. I would rather do a mini workout or an effort in a 20, 25, 30-minute workout 4 times per week for the next 6 months, rather than having 2 perfect workouts per week or even not working out at all when I don't feel like it. So I sort of realized that the intention is to get things done and to do it on a really repeated, consistent basis, and that's what's going to give the results. So the same lesson applies to my students. It's like, well, whether you feel like it or not, you still did the thing. It doesn't matter how you felt when you get out of bed. It matters that you got out of bed. So that's a sort of a fight I have against my own perfectionism. Like, I want to do a perfect workout. I want to do all sets, everything perfect. I want to push myself every time and increase. Like, well, maybe now you didn't have a good night of sleep, so you won't be able to surpass your past workout, like your PR, your personal records, but it's still fine. So by looking at it from this angle, going better done than perfect. Also, this YouTube video, that's not mine. I'll put in description. Finished, not perfect. Look it up. Google that. Finished, not perfect. So it's like we can do a finished, not perfect version of the song to move on to the next song, rather than waste 6 to 8 months on a song. Within 6 to 8 months, I could tackle 20 songs, right? So for the workouts, I'm like, within a month, I could do probably 20 Tao Physique workouts, which is like rings, ring dips, some pull-ups. I'm not that strong, but I, do the push-ups, do the squats, so do everything, and do that 20 times a month. Good enough, instead of trying to do it like perfectly 5 times a month and then not have any improvement. So the progress really, for me, stems from always churning out the content. So the content, but also on the personal side, that's been a tremendous impact. And I have one more topic for you guys. Journaling. I just want to share that quickly. We read it in several places, in like personal recovery, personal development books. I have a 12-step program I follow, and people say you should journal. So I'm happy to announce this morning was my 595th consecutive day of journaling. So it's not 2 years yet, but it's a year and something. I'm really proud because it allows me to empty my head, so I can talk about what's worrying me, what's on my plate today. I often brainstorm some of the videos I'm about to do on YouTube. I will think about the students I work with, my parenting, my family, my relationships, and I would highly recommend implementing that sort of thing, because it's like draining my worries into paper and then I'm out. Again, not affiliated, 750words.com. 750words.com. 750 words is 3 pages, and that's sort of the minimum. And as soon as you get it, you get confettis on the screen. It's like, yay, you've done it for today. You can journal more. You can write a novel if you want. But I've been doing that systematically, and I think that's one of the key pieces that showed me how consistency was important. Or else, for me, my life would just be seesaw. Like, I'd be really intense in something and then sort of drop it out and something else would take over. And it would lead me to sometimes have, be depressed, and my moods being like, I can't really achieve the results I'm looking with my music, my workout, my relationships. So, big lesson for me, I would say, if I had a word for 2023 that's closing, coming to an end, it would be the consistency that really did most of the work. And the beauty in the consistency is like discipline is not really needed. I don't need to push myself to do my journal because I set up my morning coffee the day before on my computer, everything is set, and I just roll out of bed, start the coffee machine, and then sit with the journal. So it's not even an effort anymore. So if say you're working on music or on jazz guitar or anything else, I would strongly recommend to make it as obvious and as dumbed down. It's like, oh, now it's just something that I do, right? All right, that's it. So some closing thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. So I really appreciate your support. What we talked about is an iterative process, how to create content, how to do stuff that's based on impact, and how to think of the impact before actually starting to do things. We talked about better done than perfect. We talked about balancing personal life, and I will just say thank you and subscribe if you haven't yet. And also, I'm walking the talk right now. If you could leave a comment to see how consistency has affected your personal life, but also at the same time, if you have other topics you'd like me to discuss, because we talked about soloing recently and comping from this different angle, and I have, of course, these videos I mentioned about what's a process for memorizing a standard if you haven't, or if you forget standards, like what's the process I use, and I sort of shared all these things. So if there's any ideas you might have, it's free, it takes a minute, and it would really help me move this channel forward. Okay, I'll let you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, you can find here on the channel Jazz Guitar Lessons, or you can find hundreds of resources, scales, blogs, stuff, songs, licks, whatever, on jazzguitarlessons.net/blog. And also, please join the free community. Now we just passed the 1,000 members. It's free. It's called Jazz Guitar Fellowship. It's a school group, and on there you have the exact same teaching as I use with my private students, except it's a free group. So it's free to post videos, free to ask questions, free to everything. So come hang out with me and all the other students, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.